Hey warriors, welcome back to the channel. Today is going to hit you hard, and it needs to. Most people live their entire lives inside a prison they never notice. Not a prison made of stone or steel, but a psychological cage built from their own emotional reactions. You see it everywhere. One small inconvenience, and their whole mood collapses. Someone says the wrong thing and they spiral for hours. A setback hits, and they crumble like they were made of paper. They think they're living freely, but the truth is brutal. They are slaves. Slaves to their impulses. Slaves to their emotions. Slaves to anyone who knows how to push their buttons. You want to know the darkest parts? Most people never escape. They spend their entire lives controlled by forces they never learn to understand, let alone master. But there is another path, a rare path. A path almost nobody chooses because it requires something society never taught you. Strategic, not the soft, pretty self-control you read about in cliches, no. I'm talking about the kind of inner discipline that transforms your mind into a fortress. The kind that makes you unpredictable, unreadable, unmanageable. The kind that gives you an advantage in every room you walk into. About 500 years ago, one man mapped this path better than anyone else in history, Prince and Machiavelli. While the world worshipped honor, kindness, and moral fantasy, Machiavelli studied one thing: how humans actually behave. He watched rulers rise and fall. He analyzed why some people were destroyed while others became untouchable. He saw patterns that the world still denies today. Patterns about power, fear, loyalty, manipulation, and survival. And he wrote down what he discovered. Not to inspire, not to comfort, but to reveal how the world really works. Today, I'm gonna break those lessons open for you. Not the misquotes people throw around. Not the cartoon villain versions society fears, but the real strategic insights Machiavelli understood about human nature. This won't make you cold. It won't make you cruel. It will make you aware. It will make you controlled. It will make you dangerous in the best possible way. Someone who cannot be shaken by insults, provoked by enemies, or manipulated by anyone. Before we continue, I want you to anchor this entire transformation with one sentence. Type it in the comments right now. I control myself, because after today, you will start operating differently. You will stop reacting like everyone else. You will stop living like a puppet whose strings are pulled by circumstance. You will start mastering the game Machiavelli exposed. Let's begin. If you want power in this world, real power, not the shallow kind that comes from pretending, but the kind people can feel the moment you walk into a room, then you must learn one rule that separates the controlled from the controllers. Never show your true face. Most people move through life emotionally naked. Their faces reveal everything. Their frustration, their excitement, their disappointment, their fear. They think honesty means broadcasting every feeling they experience. They call it being real, being authentic, being genuine. Machiavelli would call it something else entirely. A fatal weakness. Think about the worst poker player you've ever seen. The one whose eyebrows jump when the cards are good. The one whose lips tighten when they're bluffing. They don't need to speak their emotions, betray them before they even know it. Every reaction reveals a piece of information that can be used against them. Now understand this. Life is the highest stakes poker game you will ever play. When you show anger, people learn exactly where your buttons are. When you show fear, people know where to apply pressure. When you show desire, people gain leverage over you. When you show insecurity, people gain control. The more predictable you are, the easier you are to use. Machiavelli spent his life observing the most powerful figures of his time. Kings, generals, rulers, and he noticed a simple truth. The ones who wore their emotions on their sleeves always fell first. They would get insulted and immediately lash out. They would get scared and retreat too soon. They would get excited and overcommit to the wrong move. Their enemies didn't defeat them. Their own emotions did. Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you truly are." That line is N. D. About deception. It's about control. Your emotions are information, and information is power. The moment you hand that information to the world, you surrender your power. Look at the people who move through life effortlessly. The ones who seem unshakable, unreadable. You think they don't feel anything? You think they're emotionless? No. They feel everything. But they create distance between what they feel internally and what they show externally. That distance is the mask. The mask is not fake. The mask is strategic. The mask is your shield. When something good happens, stay neutral and plan how to use it. When something bad happens, stay neutral and calculate your next move. When someone tries to provoke you, stay neutral and decide whether they even deserve your response. This isn't coldness. This is control. You are not eliminating emotion. You are eliminating emotional exposure. Start practicing today. When someone tries to read you, give them nothing. Drop this in the comments. I reveal nothing. Let me ask you something brutally honest. How many times have you reacted too fast and made a situation 10 times worse? You is named. You panicked. You defended yourself impulsively. You acted before you understood. And when everything calmed down, you realized the reaction, not the event, caused the real damage. We've all been there. But here's the truth. Your first emotional reaction is almost always the most inaccurate one. Emotions are fast, much faster than logic, much faster than strategy. They're designed to protect you from danger instantly. Great for when you're facing a predator. Disastrous for modern life. Machiavelli studied the powerful for decades, and he noticed one pattern over and over. The people who lost power weren't defeated by enemies. They were defeated by their own emotional impulses. A ruler gets insulted and responds without thinking. A leader gets challenged and retaliates too soon. A commander gets provoked and walks into a trap. Their downfall wasn't their weakness. It was their speed. Machiavelli wrote, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." Most people misunderstand this. They think it means the wise act instantly. No. The wise act at the right time, after clarity arrives. The fool finally calms down and sees the truth. But by then, the damage is already done. So here is the rule that will give you a level of control. Most people never respond instantly to anything significant. If something triggers you, pause. If something hurts you, pause. If something angers you, pause. If something excites you too much, pause. Emotions come in waves. If you wait a little, sometimes minutes, sometimes hours, the wave passes, and what's left is clarity. Clarity reveals the truth. Clarity reveals intentions. Clarity reveals the best move. Think of the last time someone made you furious. In that moment, your entire brain was on fire. You wanted to respond immediately, to win, to defend, to strike back. But imagine you waited 24 hours. Suddenly, everything looks different. You see angles you missed, motives you overlooked, traps you would have walked right into. That is the power of delayed response. This doesn't make you passive. It makes you precise. An amateur reacts, a master responds. Create this rule for yourself right now. Any emotionally charged decision must wait at least one sleep cycle. Overnight, your brain resets. What felt urgent becomes clear. What felt threatening becomes understandable. What felt personal becomes irrelevant. Your emotions aren't the enemy. Your obedience to them is. If you want to understand why most people collapse the moment life shifts, it comes down to one mistake. A mistake Machiavelli saw destroy kings, generals, empires, and ordinary people alike. They depend on one plan, one source of income, one relationship, one opportunity, one skill, one path forward. And when that single path breaks, and it will break, everything collapses with it. Life doesn't reward the comfortable. Life doesn't reward the unprepared. Life rewards those who can pivot without fear, without hesitation, without losing their identity. Machiavelli said something powerful. Where the willingness is great, the difficulties cannot be great. But here's the deeper meaning most people miss. Willingness means nothing without preparation. You can be motivated, inspired, ambitious, but if you have no backup plans, no alternative routes, no additional skills, you are one unexpected event away from disaster. Think about how fragile most people's lives are. If their job disappeared tomorrow, they'd panic. If their partner left, they'd crumble. If one income stream died, their entire life would spiral. If one opportunity closed, they'd feel doomed. That is not stability. That is dependence. And dependence is the opposite of power. Machiavelli observed that the most resilient, powerful people he studied were not the ones with the perfect plan. They were the ones with multiple strategies ready to deploy. When life changed, they shifted. When obstacles appeared, they adapted. When chaos came, they didn't freeze. They moved. Here's the truth most people avoid. You are only as strong as your alternatives. If you rely on one job, you can be controlled. If you rely on one person, you can be abandoned. If you rely on one identity, you can be broken. If you rely on one dream, you can be crushed. But if you develop multiple skills, if you build multiple connections, if you create multiple paths to success, if you cultivate independence, then nothing can corner you. Nothing can trap you. Nothing can threaten you into submission. Preparation gives you freedom. Options give you power. So here's your assignment, and Machiavelli would insist on this. Identify one area of your life where you are dangerously dependent. Income, a relationship, a habit, a single opportunity. Now ask yourself, if this disappeared today, how would I survive? If the answer scares you, good. That fear is fuel. Use it to build a backup plan now, not after disaster hits. This isn't paranoia. This is strategy. There's a truth almost nobody wants to admit, but you see it everywhere once you understand it. People don't respect niceness. People respect power. And when I say power, I don't mean corruption or dominance or cruelty. I mean something far more valuable. Independence, capability, and the ability to walk away. Because the moment you need something from someone, the moment you depend on their approval, attention, support, or validation, you hand them leverage over you. And humans always exploit leverage, whether intentionally or unconsciously. Think about it. When you're desperate for approval, people withhold it. When you're desperate for love, people take you for granted. When you're desperate for attention, people ignore you. When you're desperate for help, people use you. This isn't cruelty. It's human nature. People instinctively move towards strength and away from weakness. Machiavelli understood this more clearly than almost anyone in history. He wrote, "Since love and fear can hardly exist together, if we must choose, it is safer to be feared than loved." This doesn't mean be scary. This doesn't mean be harsh. This doesn't mean be intimidating. It means be someone whose power commands respect even when you say nothing. So how do you build that kind of power? 1. Build independence. The less you need from others, the more respected you become. Don't rely on others emotionally. Don't rely on others for validation. Don't rely on others for identity. Be whole on your own. 2. Develop options. Options create confidence. Confidence creates power. Power creates respect. Don't make one job your lifeline. Don't make one person your entire world. Don't make one opportunity your only path. The more paths you have, the less anyone can control you. 3. Become valuable. Skills are power. Competence is power. Capability is power. When you provide something few others can, the world treats you differently. People lean in. People listen. People take you seriously. 4. Set boundaries. This is where most people fail. They want to be liked, so they say yes when they want to say no. They tolerate disrespect because they fear losing someone. They accept crumbs because they're scared to walk away. But here's the paradox. People only respect you when you respect yourself first. When you enforce boundaries, Some people will get frustrated, but they will respect you more for it. Others will fall away. And that is a blessing, not a loss. You don't gain power by being agreeable. You gain power by being More dreams die from hesitation than from failure. Remember that. Let it sink in. Let it sink in. Most people recognize opportunities far too late. They see the door open. They feel the momentum building. They sense the shift in the air. But instead of acting, they freeze. They wait. They want certainty. They want perfect timing. They want guarantees. Life will never give them, and while they hesitate, someone bolder steps forward and takes what was meant for them. This is why Machiavelli obsessed over timing. He saw that power doesn't belong to the smartest or the strongest. It belongs to the individuals who know when to strike. The same action done at the wrong moment fails. The same action done at the right moment changes everything. Machiavelli wrote, "Men rise from one ambition to another, first to secure themselves, then to attack," meaning success follows a rhythm. There is a moment to defend your position. There is a moment to advance. There is a moment to hold. There is a moment to strike. Most people miss these moments because they're distracted by emotions, fear, doubt, anxiety, uncertainty. When opportunity appears, their emotions scream, "What if I'm wrong? What if I'm not ready? What if I fail? What if people judge me?" But your emotions don't understand strategy. Your emotions only understand safety, and safety kills more potential than danger ever will. Here's what you must understand. Opportunity rarely looks clean or comfortable. It usually appears disguised as chaos, instability, or risk. When markets are unstable, fortunes are built. When industries shift, giants fall and new giants rise. When everyone else is confused, the bold step in. When people retreat, the strategic advance. Most people want clarity before taking action, but clarity comes from action, not before Italiano. So here's the rule Machiavelli would drill into your mind. When you see an opening, analyze quickly, then move. Not recklessly, not blindly, but decisively. Give yourself a deadline. Not weeks, not months, hours, sometimes minutes, because opportunities vanish. Momentum fades, windows close, circumstances shift. Every success story you admire came from someone who acted while others hesitated. They didn't have all the answers. They didn't have a perfect roadmap. They moved because they sensed the timing was right, and that instinct changed everything. Hesitation is the enemy. Precision is the weapon. This is the most controversial of Machiavelli's lessons. One of the most misunderstood. People hear the phrase, "The end justifies the means," and instantly imagine cruelty, ruthlessness, manipulation, darkness. But that's not what Machiavelli was teaching. He wasn't telling you to be immoral. He wasn't telling you to hurt others. He wasn't telling you to abandon ethics. He was telling you to stop living for the approval of people who contribute nothing to your life. Here is the brutal truth. People will judge you no matter what you do. If you succeed, they'll judge how you achieved it. If you fail, they'll judge why you didn't try harder. If you take risks, they'll call you reckless. If you play safe, they'll call you weak. If you chant, they'll say you're not the same. If you stay the same, they'll say you're stagnant. In other words, you cannot win the approval game, because the approval game is rigged. Machiavelli understood this deeply. He studied how leaders were ridiculed for being too bold and ridiculed for being too cautious. He wrote, "A prince who wants to maintain his rule must learn how not to be good." Translation: stop expecting everyone to applaud you for doing what's necessary. Great achievements rarely follow a straight path. Progress rarely looks pretty while you're making it. Success rarely comes through methods everyone agrees with. Think about every innovator, every leader, every visionary. In the beginning, they were laughed at, criticized, misunderstood, attacked. Their approach didn't fit society's expectations. Their methods made people uncomfortable. Their ambition disrupted the norm. And yet, once they succeeded, people rewrote the story. Suddenly, the exact same methods people condemned became genius, brilliant, legendary. Because here is the unfiltered truth. People don't respect process. They respect results. So stop letting fear of judgment paralyze you. Stop seeking validation from people whose lives aren't going anywhere. Stop asking permission to pursue what you know is right for you. Stop watering down your ambition to make others comfortable. Your mission won't look acceptable to everyone. Your path, 1T, look traditional. Your methods won't make sense to people who aren't on your level. And that is perfectly fine. Focus on outcomes, not applause. Focus on impact, not approval. Focus on building a life that makes sense to you, not to spectators. Because at the end of the day, when you win, nobody will care how uncomfortable your process looked. They won't remember the criticism. They won't remember the doubts. They'll only remember one thing. You did what they couldn't. Drop this in the comments. Results define me. Now that you've learned these 7 brutal truths, there's something you need to understand. These lessons aren't supposed to feel comfortable. They aren't supposed to match what school taught you or what society praises or what motivational posters tell you. They are designed to make you wake up, because the world you live in is not soft. It's not fair. It's not gentle. It's competitive, unpredictable, unforgiving, especially to those who walk blindly, trust too quickly, react too emotionally, or depend too heavily on others. And this is exactly why Machiavelli's teachings have survived for over 500 years. Not because they're dark, but because they're accurate. Not because they're cruel, but because they're real. He wasn't writing a guide for villains. He was writing a manual for anyone who wanted to survive, rise, and maintain power in a world that crushes the unprepared. Let's be honest, society teaches you the opposite. They tell you to be open with your emotions. They tell you to assume the best in everyone. They tell you to avoid conflict. They tell you approval is everything. They tell you to take the safe, predictable path. And look where that gets most people. Stuck, used, manipulated, overwhelmed, controlled, invisible. But you're here because you want something different. You're not looking for comfort. You're not looking for a fairy tale. You're looking for clarity, for control, for strategy, for power over your own life. These principles are not about becoming heartless. They're about becoming aware. They're not about controlling others. They're about not letting others control you. They're not about rejecting emotions. They're about mastering them so no one can use them against you. And once you start living by these truths, you will notice something profound. People will treat you differently. People will respect you more. People will stop taking advantage of you. People will sense something in you, something they can't quite read, can't manipulate, can't break. You will move differently, speak differently, decide differently. You will operate like someone who knows the rules of the game while everyone else is still guessing. That's what Machiavelli wanted you to understand. Power doesn't belong to the lucky. Power belongs to the prepared, to the strategic, to the controlled, to the warriors. If this message opened your eyes today, good. That means you're evolving. You're not here to be average. You're not here to be another follower in a world full of confusion. You're here to rise above the noise, to sharpen your mind, to build power from the inside out. Before you go, tell me in the comments, which of these 9 parts hit you the hardest? Which principle are you going to apply today? Not tomorrow, not someday. Today. If this video gave you clarity, if it shifted your mindset, if it made you see the world differently, do one thing for me. Hit the like button. It tells the algorithm this message matters. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Because every week we go deeper. Not into fluff, not into cliches, but into the strategies that make you unshakable in a world built to shake you. Turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. because the next lesson might be the one that changes your entire trajectory. Remember, the world doesn't reward the nicest. It rewards the sharpest, the strongest, the most strategic. The ones who can see clearly while everyone else is blind. And now, you're one of them. I'll see you in the next one. Warrior, stay sharp. Stay strategic. Stay in control.